you.
Candy, my name is Morris Pollard. I am the CEO and president of We Love Can Park, community-based. Been doing this like you say, Tia, this is my 17th year. Been having the good and the bad and the ugly. But as Tia, I'm a survivor. I'm a fighter. I'm an individual that don't know stuff like that. My vocabulary is not for that. Let me see if that'll work better. That's better?
Better.
I have a small community group, 501c3. We help get my words together. We help the part of the community that is no one that's even considered. No one give them a chance. We reach out to the kids and the elderly people that really, really need just a little push. You know, do a food giveaway every month. We do a clothing giveaway, shooting giveaway, stuff like that. I have a little small maintenance and repair operation, so I do a lot of just free labor for people that may have an issue at their home and can't really afford a carpenter to come and do it. Usually I just tell them, if you could buy the parts or you may just give my guys a little labor, I just come and do the work. Just stuff like that. So I work with different organizations, different groups, just to keep them relative and understand from both perspectives. My number one is domestic violence and cancer. That's my number one. And I don't want to talk about that right now because I don't want to cry. We'll talk about that later. But those are my two heartfelt things. Family, friends, cancer, survivors, losses, and everything else that goes on. That's me.
Well, friends, the reason that we're here, Vanessa and I met through a company called Silveris that she may have mentioned to you in the past. And Silveris is a nationwide company that has all kinds of different solutions, and people who are in network marketing and want to do Silveris, that's all well and good. But here's what we hear. We met there, and my solution that I provide, that I help provide, is funding for nonprofits. So my background, I'm not going to get into all the boring details, but I can tell you right now, I'm an alcoholic in survivorship. I am a single mother. I was adopted. There's abuse in my background. My fiance is a veteran. He thinks the veterans are treated very poorly. There's a lot of faith-based around us. There's a lot of rescue animals. So there's a lot of desire to help nonprofits of all kinds. And what we want to do, our mission is to fund your missions. We're not the ones out in the trenches doing what you're doing. Morris, I used to do some stuff with the board of realtors where I would go to the elderly and change out light bulbs and change batteries and smoke detectors and rake up yards. And I created a whole campaign around real estate investor groups where we could go find elderly that need a porch fixed or a leak in a roof fixed. We used to do all kinds of stuff like that. So I've been out in the community doing a lot of help too. And here's what I want to say. When we are trying to get cash from people, it is less than 3% of what they have their hands on. Real estate, 43% of this country has their wealth in real estate. And I want you to know that there are people, whether it's somebody that you know personally or somebody that someone you knows personally on a Facebook or a TikTok or an email or at church, there are people with real estate and they would donate real estate that would help you. And I don't mean real estate that you need to move into, manage, fix up, sell. I'm talking about there could be a strip mall in California. There could be a condo in Florida. There could be a ranch in in Texas. There could be raw land in Indiana. Real estate from all over the country is being donated. It's been happening for 100 years. And this real estate gets donated, and groups like ours can facilitate it and sell it and give you the cash. And you just got to stay with me in the next 20 minutes. I'm going to go through a PowerPoint. I'm going to do it really quick to give you some ideas and some numbers, and then I'm going to answer some questions for you. But please don't think to yourself, gosh, I don't know anybody that would donate real estate, or wow, that's great for somebody else, but not me. I am telling you right now, you can get funded by tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do exactly what you're doing for these good people if we just are open to new ideas. Can we be open to some new good ideas? Okay,
Absolutely.
great. I promise you, Vanessa has seen my presentation, and she wouldn't have invited you if she didn't think it was a viable option. So I'm just going to share my screen. I'm going to bang through this pretty quick, and then I want to open some questions up with you guys. So nonprofits have been hurting because they're all looking for cash. And for 100 years, there's been a better way to do it, but they just didn't know. The average donation from a piece of real estate, friends, is $550,000. That is a lot of money, but it is a small amount of money in some cases. So I just want you to know that the average amount can be $550,000. And people don't just do it because they love you. They do it because they're getting a good tax advantage too. So let's not kid ourselves. Everybody involved gets something out of it. This $550,000 is the equity from property. It could be a $5 million house in California. We're going to show you some of those. There are basketball stars and football stars and all kinds of celebrities who own real estate that given $550,000 is not a big deal, and they do it all the time. This happens to be our book. Real estate is hot. Fundraising is not. This is the playbook. I'm happy to give you a free digital copy of the book by the end of the presentation. I'll share that with you. Dr. Russell James is a gentleman who has been teaching nonprofits for years. Please stop asking for cash only. Please let people give you non-cash assets. It could be businesses. It could be stocks, and it could be real estate. So the reason that I had never heard of this, I never heard of this until 3 years ago. I was a real estate agent for 15 years. I did fundraisers for Ronald McDonald House and Make-A-Wish and the largest to the smallest nonprofits, and I had never heard of it. And the reason that neither I nor you nor 99% of the people you know have ever heard of it is this. There are 1.5 million nonprofits in this country. Less than 0.5% will take real estate. So even yours, all of them, $500 cash, deed to a property worth $500,000. 99% of the time, if this is offered to a church, to a veteran group, to a domestic abuse situation, $500 or the deed to a property worth $500,000, 99% of the time they take the cash and they say no to the real estate. And it's because it is so complicated. It's scary, it's risky, and they don't have the money. So there's 3 ways that a property owner could help your nonprofit. We got 2 great people on here right now that have nonprofits. And there are 3 ways that someone who owns real estate could help your nonprofit. The first way is if that donor, let's say that your nonprofit is in Savannah, and you've got a donor that bought a second home in Florida, got them a condo in Florida. And they say, you know what? I've owned that condo for 30 years. I want to help you. I don't have cash, but I got that condo. Tell you what, this first way is if that donor goes and sells that condo themselves and just gives you the proceeds. Friends, the reason this is the worst way is because the donor has to pay the nonprofit world, the donor has to pay the government a lot of money in the middle. So your nonprofit gets the least amount of money, the donor gets the least amount of tax advantage, and the government is getting a big slice in the middle. It is what it is. It is the worst way to do it. We don't want people going and selling their property and giving the government a lot of money and giving you what's left over. Now, the second way that that same donor could help you, you got a donor in Savannah. They love your nonprofit. They got a condo in Florida. And let's say that it's $1 million condo. It's in Florida after all. It's got a higher value. Let's say that the donor says you can have it. There's a $200,000 mortgage on it. It's got to get paid off. But if that mortgage gets paid off, you can have the rest of it. So the second way is if the donor gives you, your nonprofit, gives you the condo. But here's the problem. You got to come up with the $200,000 to pay off the mortgage. Now it's $1 million condo, and after expenses, you're going to get about $700,000 of that condo, but you got to come up with $200,000 first. You and your board have to decide who's going to pay for the insurance and the taxes and the HOA fees and all of the hurricane insurance. Friends, here's what we know to be a fact. 99.9% of nonprofits will not take that deal. It's $1 million condo. All they got to do is pay off $200,000 to get $800 in equity, but 99% will not do it. And frankly, they shouldn't do it. It's risky. What if a hurricane comes through and devastates that condo? What if it burns to the ground? What if? They just won't do it. It's the hardest way. Even if a nonprofit will do it, and 99.9% won't, but even if they will, it takes a lot of time and a lot of money. So they won't do it. And here's all the reasons that nonprofits like yours won't take real estate. They don't have expertise in real estate. They don't have the money to pay off mortgages or to take on insurance and responsibility. They don't have the time. You guys are trying to help so many people. You start trying to take on real estate attorneys and realtors and mortgages, it takes you off of your mission. You might have even heard of bad experiences. And if you haven't heard of them, believe me, you talk about it enough, you'll hear about it. There are lots of nonprofits who have tried to take on real estate and they had a bad deal, and that's why they'll never do it again. There are some nonprofits that actually will take real estate, but on a very limited basis. If it's mortgage free, if it's vacant, if it's local in the same square block of their own current location. In other words, it's got some really strict ways that they will take that on. Most nonprofits won't even take on real estate. They just have it written right in their bylaws. Both you, Tia, and both you, Morris, you don't, your bylaws will not allow you to take on this type of gift. I'm quite sure of it. And ultimately, it's just too risky. It's too risky for you to take it on, and we wouldn't want you to. But friends, the main reason that you're not getting this kind of funding is because you don't know about this way. This is the third way. This is the way that Vanessa wants you to know about, because she cares about you and she knows that you care about other people. And she knows that if you could get a few $100,000 into your nonprofit, you could help so many more people. So here's the way we do it. This group that you're being introduced to is called the Real Agents of Change. And we have created a team of experts that does this real estate for you with no risk, no out-of-pocket expense. We don't want your money. Let me say this again. I don't want your money. There is capital that is available to enhance the value of the property. What if that condo that your donor wants to donate, what if it needs to be fixed because of Hurricane Ian that just came through? That's okay. Our team can fix it. We can pay off mortgages if need be. We can give cash to the donor. The donor receives all the tax benefits that they're looking for, and the nonprofit world receives the maximum amount of donations. That means you. So instead of Uncle Sam getting 200 grand in capital gains tax, you get all the money instead of Uncle Sam. This is what we call the win-win-win way of funding your nonprofit from gifts of real estate, because our team takes title. You have no risk, you have no money out of pocket, and you have no need to change your gift acceptance policies. So what it looks like is that property donor has that condo in Florida. They donate it to this specialized nonprofit that I've talked about, our third-party expert who handles all of this for us. When they sell it, they give to your nonprofit 98% of the proceeds. So if there's $500,000 in proceeds, you get about $485,000 in proceeds from the sale. Other nonprofits are doing this, friends. $9 billion a year is being donated to nonprofits like yours. Let me say that number again. This is $9 billion a year that is being donated all over the country to nonprofit like yours. $550,000 is the average donation, but what if it was $39,000? What if it was $25,000? Would that help you? And most times the answer is absolutely. There are donations happening everywhere. Now look, these logos are all nonprofits that are already accepting real estate. We keep saying 99.9% don't take real estate. Well, that leaves a certain amount that do. So let me just address that for a second. All of these that you see here that are helping kids, they're helping the environment, they're helping with education, they're helping with our American veterans and our Nature Conservancy. There are nonprofits all over the country that if you Google gifts of real estate, you'll see these come up. So Cars for Kids, as an example, most people know Cars for Kids. Guess what? They accept real estate too. See, there are donors that care about you right now. It could be the mayor of your city. It could be a professional basketball player who knows about what you're doing. It could be a lawyer. It could be anyone who has seen what you're doing in the news or what have you. But they don't know that you can benefit from real estate. So they are Googling how to donate real estate, and these are the organizations that are coming up. And if any of those basketball players or attorneys or teachers are wanting to donate real estate, needing a tax write-off, they can get it from any of these groups. But here's the problem. Your nonprofit is not going to get funded. Cars for Kids is a great organization. They deserve to get funded. But we want yours to get funded. And that's why we want to show you this. We want you to see nonprofits all around you are doing it. You're missing out if you're not. Because your donors, they need to know that you can benefit from this. Your donors are on other donor lists. Their churches, their veteran groups, their domestic violence centers are learning about this, and they will tell them. Your donors are looking for tax deductions. They are eager to leave legacy. They are planning their planned giving right now. Especially right now, today is November 17th, and people are looking right now for tax deductions this year, and we can provide them together, and you can get the rewards because of it. So donations of real estate come into your nonprofit, and we do the rest. Let me share this quick case study, and it makes all the sense in the world. Berkeley Humane Society is a nonprofit in California that helps animals. December last year, there was a man who had a handful of raw land and he needed a tax deduction, and he didn't even care what nonprofit got the proceeds. He just needed a tax deduction. So when he came to the table December 10th, the way our team works, we do this for a living. This is all we do. So we were able to give him a tax deduction immediately. When that land sold, he gave them, they received $400,000. And they said, we didn't know that this was possible. Can we do it again? And we said, yes, you can. Friends, here's all they said. Donors, we don't know how this works, but apparently it does. People are donating real estate. They're getting tax deductions. We're getting money. Who out there that cares about us would like to donate real estate? And a woman said, I've got a piece. My mom left it to me. I don't want it. She donated it. And in August this year, they got a second check for $646,000. Now, here's the moral of the story, and here's what I need you to hear. One nonprofit, two donors, not 200,000, two donors in a 6-month period, $1,052. Why? Because this is not $50 raffle tickets. This is not a golf course that is holding a fundraiser. This is not a car wash. This is not a bake sale or a barbecue. This is gifts of real estate that give on average $600,000 from anywhere in the country, of any size, any type. It can be residential, it can be commercial, it can be houses, warehouses, raw land. It doesn't matter. It creates funding for you right now, later this year. Look, this is a $15 million golf club that was donated to this university in Illinois. Got a $15 million golf course because they let their donors know that they can give real estate. Martin Luther King Community Center, Rhode Island, got this building, January 2021. This house was donated to the Community Foundation, $7.5 million. This year in May. This is not about garbage property people can't get rid of. This is not a gas station in the middle of the worst part of town. This is people who care about what you're doing and wanting to help. This couple donated $129 million at one time to the nonprofit world. These are the kinds of people that donate real estate. These logos you see right now, I'm guessing you know the Boys and Girls Club, Girl Scouts, United Way, American Heart Association, Wounded Warriors. Friends, we know these groups. They are benefiting from this, and your nonprofit can benefit from it too. Universities. And you might be thinking, yeah, but they've got hundreds and thousands, and they've been around for years and years. You're right. But what they also have is somebody that had the gumption to open their mouth and say, hey, we can benefit from real estate. Because it only takes one person. It's kind of like dating. Like I did online dating for many, many years. And I went through 5,000, excuse me, 5 million times. I swiped, that's another sad story, but I swiped 7 million times to find my guy. Ultimately, I only needed one. Could have been the first, he happened to be the last, but my point is, it only took me one, and all you need is one. So what's next? Don't waste time. We want you to do your due diligence. We want you to do your research. We want you to read about it. We have put together more stories, case studies, actual examples than you need. Don't waste time. 1917. The United States put this into effect as a tax code, and the uber wealthy have been taken advantage for 100 years, and a very small handful of people were smart enough to figure it out. But guess what? I have barely a high school education. I do not have a college degree. I do not have some fancy financial background. What I have is a sick determination to bring this to everyone. And because of that, it's happening and time is ticking and people are finding it. Don't waste time. Do your research. I'm going to make sure that Vanessa gets you. You'll see this word, therock.com. Our name is the Real Agents of Change, RAOC, The Rock. You'll see therock.com/documents, therock.com/donations, therock.com/FAQS. I'm going to show them all to you in a minute. And I want you to take a screenshot and do your research. This is my personal cell phone number and my email. This is my fiance, whom I found swiping 7 million times, but is now one of the best additions to our company. Alan is the VP of the company, and he loves being the liaison for the nonprofit world. Friends, just take the funding. There is no catch. People say sounds too good to be true, and I'm going to challenge you. How bad does something have to be for it to be true? Does something really have to be bad to be true? It's a really ignorant statement when I think about it. Well, it sounds too good to be true. Guess what? Good stuff is true. You have a nonprofit and it's good and it's true. Just take the funding. So do what you were created to do, man. Make a difference. Don't try to figure out real estate. Just let us do it for you. So listen here. I'm going to bring all these up for you. I want you to take a screenshot. Do what you got to do to have these links. You want to come to the master class. It is every other Tuesday. We just had it yesterday. We do it the first and the third Tuesday. You want to be there. It's free right now. It won't be free forever, but it is free. The FAQS is the most common asked questions that we hear. The /donations has the 14 case studies that you can watch. The property evaluation, that's the form that donors fill out to see about getting a property donated. Go to the chapter 1, you get the first chapter of my book for free. You've got our Facebook group and you've got our LinkedIn, my LinkedIn page. So just want to open it up to see what kind of question. I know that's a lot of information. And I know that, this time of year, it is Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is coming up. And everybody and their mother and brother's got an ad out. Best way to fundraise. Here's a way to fundraise. Do a texting campaign. Do this, that, and the other thing. Our Giving Tuesday campaign is this. Give your donors the gift of choice. Let them choose for themselves. Do they want to give you $50 cash? Or do they want to give you a piece of property that they don't use anymore anyway with a $500,000 equity? Do you guys have any questions?
I think that was a lot of information. Yep, it was a lot of information. So how long does it take for you all to sell the property so that the nonprofit can get the funding from the property?
Sure, great question. So it's real estate. So real estate is real estate. In the last couple of years, girl, there have been bidding wars, and a property goes on the market today, And within 3 days, they're getting 100,000 more than they were asking for it. And it was a cash deal and it's closed in 30 days. But that's been recent marketing or the market, right? When I was in real estate, it was on average 60 to 90 days. So it just really depends what town, what property, is it cash? Are they getting a loan? But what I really want to say is when you have that property on the market and you're waiting for it to close, thank you, Jesus. What a great problem to have that you're waiting for it to close. I would say on average about 45 days.
Okay.
So from us, what do you need from us as an organization?
All we need from you, Morris, is to tell people. You just need to tell your donors while you're talking to them, about what you do. Maybe you've got a presentation at a local chamber of commerce or whatever it is that you do to spread the word about your nonprofit. Just end it with, and by the way, we can benefit from real estate. If you're doing a fundraiser and it's a bake sale or it's a car wash or it's a gala or a lunchtime meeting or, car show, like whatever it is that you're doing to raise money, put in your marketing that you also accept real estate on your Facebook page. Do a Facebook Live with me or with Vanessa, letting people know. On your website, you've got a button just like every other nonprofit, and your button says donate. And if somebody clicks on your donate button, they can put in their Visa, their Discover, their American Express. They put in their number, and 2 days later, you get 97% of the money they donated. That's how credit card processing works. And what we want to say is, you can have another button that says donate real estate. So ultimately, your part in all this isn't to become a real estate expert. It's to simply say, as long as I'm asking people for cash, which is only 3% of what they can give me, why not go ahead and let them know we can benefit from real estate too? And we will answer the questions for you. Here's what I'll leave you with. You have realtors, and you both, all of you have realtors and you have financial advisors in your community that love you, that want to help you. They're already part of your fundraising committees and they're already buying your Apple tickets and stuff. Introduce us to your realtors and your financial advisor friends, because we're going to show them how they can make money by helping you make a difference. We don't want them to give us a percentage. We don't want to give, they don't have to do a listing at a discount. We want to give them a full commission to list a piece of real estate that when it sells, your nonprofit is going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what do we need you to do? We need you to tell people.
Okay.
Well, that was good.
Very good.
Tia, any more questions?
I can't think of no more. I'm trying to think now to see what else I wanted to ask about it. So say for instance, I had kicked off a campaign, right? Say for instance, it's called Send a Kid to Camp campaign. I don't know, right? Are you saying that I can ask for cash, but I also can ask them to donate real estate to me?
Yes, ma'am. Yep, absolutely. And you know, when it comes to real estate, we know that you just were overwhelmed with 40 minutes of what? So, so we've got some videos that you can watch at your leisure that give you more detail. We want to invite you to sit in on the master class if you so choose to just learn a little bit about it. We do not want you to become a tax accountant or a real estate agent to learn all the idiosyncrasies, but we do want you to understand what we're talking about here. And when it comes to the syndicate to camp, when people are giving you $50, $100, $500 for those kids to go to camp, and you say, and guess what? We can benefit from real estate. There are people right this red hot minute that need a tax deduction that will donate real estate, both because it helps you and it helps them from a tax perspective. And Tia, there are some people who just don't have real estate right now, but what we're saying is let's educate them. Let's inform them. Let's let them know that next year, when they're thinking about their taxes, this is an option. Let's let them start thinking about planned giving. 3 years from now, you will find people that will donate real estate right now. And you will plant the seed and build relationships with people that will donate it next year or 3 years from now, but they won't if we don't plant the seed now. So our thing is, let's just educate them and let's let them decide, is this something they want to do right now or in 3 years or in 10 years? But you're going to keep hearing about this. Your church, you're going to start hearing the preacher say it from the pulpit. You're going to start hearing the Boys and Girls Club talk about it. You're going to start seeing on the van of, you know, of the Animal Rescue League, we accept real estate. So might as well be on your car too.
I mean, I'm convinced though. It's not that I'm not convinced, because I'm really convinced. I'm just trying to see what that looked like on a organization side of paper, paper trail. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that look like? Do my homework on you guys as a company with the links that y'all sent. And I think we should talk again. I don't know if I'll be able to come in the master class when you said the first Tuesday and the first Thursday.
That's okay. We have other times too. Every Wednesday at noon, we
Okay.
do a Q&A where you can come and get your questions answered. We're always happy to jump on another call like this. But when you bring your Q&A on Wednesdays at noon Eastern, and you see, another minister, maybe a domestic abuse group, or, maybe an animal rights group. In other words, when you all come together, you can hear each other's questions. And the basic gist of it is this. On your website, that button that says donate real estate, there was a point in your career when you decided who was going to process your credit cards, and you chose them, and now they process your credit cards. And that's, you don't know how much people have in their on their credit. You don't know what their credit score is. You don't know, if they're going into debt by giving you credit on their credit card. You just got credit card processing. And once you've met us and done your due diligence, now you've just got another button. And that button says you can donate real estate. And when people come to us, you could have Vanessa's phone number to help answer questions. What will probably happen for both of you is you will find realtors and financial advisors that you already know that are blown away that this is something that they can learn how to do. And you can have that realtor's name and phone number on your website, and that's where people can go to get their questions answered. So there's really not much of a paper trail for you. Just like when somebody puts their credit card number in, you don't keep a paper trail. You just get a report at the end of the month, how much money came from Visa and how much money came from Discover Card. Same thing here. When somebody has real estate, you'll find out it came from Texas or Ohio or Canada or Florida.
And so I think you did a really good job of explaining that part. So what about on your 990 when you get ready to file your taxes? Do you know that?
You know, here's the thing. You're never taking real estate. You're only getting a grant. So the third party specialized nonprofit that we've been talking about, there's a handful that we play with, but there's one called realtygiftfund.org. Vanessa, please make sure that they get that. realtygiftfund.org. And you can go check them out. And here's what happens. Your beautiful, gracious donor says, hey, Tia, I got a piece of land in Wyoming. It's worth about $800,000. I thought I was going to build a ranch at one time, but I ain't building no damn ranch. I'm going to give you that property. So Realty Gift Fund takes title to the property. They are the 501c3 that has to deal with the IRS. They hire a realtor up in Wyoming to sell that property. And when it's all said and done, and there's $600,000 in proceeds, they give you a check in the form of a grant. Not a grant that you applied for or had to bend over backwards for. It's just how they do it. They grant one nonprofit to another $600,000. So my dear, whatever you would do with your taxes on any money that's granted to you or given to you or donated to you, that's exactly how you handle it. Because it was not real estate, it was cash that was given to you. You follow me?
I follow you. Good way to explain that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got another call to get on. Vanessa, you're a rock star. Thank you for bringing me quality people. And let's do this again. And let's have these folks watch a bunch of videos and let's just get you funded. Friends, honest to God, once you've watched a couple of videos and you feel comfortable with the conversation, all you need to say to people is, hey, while you're cutting that chuck, while you're giving me some cash, just want you to know we can benefit from real estate. We don't know anything about it, but we've got a real estate team and we'll put you in contact. And that's all you have to do. We take it from there and and you can be as much a part of it as you want. Some nonprofits are so busy, they just say, look, here's Bob Smith. He's got property in Iowa. Please help him. Others say, hey, Bob Smith is a good friend of mine. I don't really understand how this works. I'm going to be on the Zoom too. I want to watch the whole thing with Bob Smith. So it's totally up to you. You can be as active or as passive as you want.
Well, thank y'all so much. I really enjoyed it. And you're right, Candy, I did bring on some great quality people. They're few in numbers, but they're very strong in their mission. So I look for more to be coming on because some people had some previous things scheduled. So thank you so much, Tia. Thank you so much, Morris. And y'all know I'll be working right alongside y'all with all the connections that we have together. So
all right.
All
Good
right.
night, y'all.
I'll send you the recording, Vanessa, so you can send it to whoever needs to see it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
All right, peace.